As an artist, it's important to know which medium you want to start out with. When making manga, there'll be two fighters vying for your attention: digital art and traditional art. Today they'll be fighting over 4 rounds based on different comparisons and observations, so throw on your boxing gloves and
let's get ready to rumble!
Round 1. Price. Traditional art has the easiest entrance with just a simple pencil and any paper. You can draw for $3.99. As you advance though, traditional art can get pricey as you practice more and more, wanting to get more supplies for different mediums like Copic markers, green tones, pens, inks, brushes, nib pens, and the nice thick paper to go along with it. Digital art, on the other hand, requires one big investment into hardware and potential costs in software. There are free software options like GIMP or Metabang, but also paid software like Clip Studio and Photoshop. But after it is all paid for, you essentially have all the tools and colors at your disposal. Overall, while traditional art comes out strong initially, I'm going to have to give this round to digital art. As you continue on your art journey, it's probably cheaper to use one tool and software over and over again than to continually pay for physical art supplies that deplete over time. Round 2. Practicality. Marking a paper is overall simple and easy to do in its rawest form. With traditional art, you can experiment more freely and doodle on spare sheets of paper anywhere with a piece of notebook paper or a sketchbook. Traditional art is again really simple starting out, but as you accumulate supplies with increasing quantity and complexity, you need to maintain, clean, and store all your supplies, but is overall simple and natural to do. You also need to store your work, and with degradable items like paper, you have to take care of the quality of your hard-earned work. Paper rots, but digital art is forever, especially in an NFT. Digital art can store all works of art. When considering publishing manga with many pages, your art needs to be scanned in anyways, so you need a highly scalable medium to store your panels and pages. My challenges working with digital art though have been due to my disorganized nature. Layers can get really confusing if you're not organized, and you can try to do a layering technique, but if you draw on the wrong one, well. Digital art is also highly dependent on technology as you always need your device with you to work. For iPads, it's simple as it's really portable, but for bigger drawing tablets, this can be quite prohibitive. Overall, digital art is good for doing polished final work, while traditional art is better for sketching. So for this round, I'd have to give a tie, but with a slight edge to digital if you spend the majority of your time at a workspace as you get serious about manga. But it really depends where you do your art. Round 3. User experience. Digital art has so many tools to learn, which can be a good thing, but you also have to learn the software at the beginning, which is a big learning curve that I had to get used to for a couple of months. I tried to teach myself Clip Studio Paint by making this channel with tutorials, and they say that teaching helps you learn better, so I've been glad to learn with you guys. But once you figure out the layout of the software and learn shortcuts, it can get weird switching back to traditional. Every time I go back to traditional drawing and mess up a line, I have an urge to do Ctrl-Z on a piece of paper. With that being said, I have some things that bother me about digital art. I just don't like looking at the screen all the time. It hurts my eyes. Also, drawing tablets have a parallax where there is some separation from the screen and your pen stylus, so it doesn't always feel as good, especially with its more plasticky texture. But when it comes to comparing to pen and paper, traditional art just feels better. Scratching my pencil across the paper just feels so satisfying and free-flowing. So for this round, I gotta give it to traditional art. Round 4. Aesthetic. It's the last round and the score is tied 1-1 with one draw. So let's see which medium comes out on top. But before the last dance, if you've enjoyed my video so far, subscribe if you want to learn more about the art of manga. Anyways, let's finish this off with the 4th round. When picking a medium, it all comes down to the final picture and look of what you create. For the 4th round, I want to compare the final aesthetic from each, because at the end of the day, you want to create the best art possible. Digital art allows you to be as perfect as you want to be. You can stabilize your lines, and you can add extra tapers. But overall, digital art looks a little too clean and feels almost robotic. There are some filters or brushes that can look like pencils or paint or even watercolor, but these are all imitations of traditional art. Compared to the cleanliness of digital art, traditional art lets you make mistakes that you have to stick with that makes your art unique and actually more alive. Traditional art is the most straightforward way to have natural idiosyncrasies in your art that gives it that unique quality and voice that can only come from you. You can compare the strokes and lines from art from Kaiju, a more digitally made manga, compared to a title like Vagabond, which is drawn traditionally and inked with a brush. While Kaiju provides that consistent and clean lines, there's just something so beautiful about the brush strokes that Takehiko Inoue creates with each bristle strand. When all is said and done, I have to give the round and the win to traditional art. But with that being said,
¿Por qué no los dos?
in making manga, you can get the best of both worlds with a hybrid approach. Personally, in my process, I enjoy sketching and penciling out the layouts and initial drafts traditionally. Inking, I could go either way with the clean lines or the more rugged traditional inking. But for lettering and screen tones, digital definitely takes the cake. An artist that I look up to that pairs digital and traditional art very well is Inio Asano, the author of Oyasumi Pun Pun and Dead Dead Demons Dead 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 Destruction. A weird title, but really cool art that I recommend you check out. In his work, Asano magnifies his initially traditional art into beautiful works of art digitally with breathtaking panels. For beginner artists though, it's helpful to get started with the paper and pencil, and once you get your reps in on your fundamentals, you can move into digital art to create your next big manga. And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed this video. This video was kind of a mishmash of past videos and serves to look back over all of the content we've put out in the past year. If you'd like to see previous videos on digital art, feel free to click on these videos here. And if you want to watch my traditional art supply videos, they're linked right here. It's been a great year of learning about manga with you guys, and I have much more projects planned in the coming year. But until then, I hope you have a good day. I'll see you next time.